Bienvenidos. Welcome back to Open. We will continue our conversation with Mr. Brian Anderson. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
So, you said you were a history major here at Lehman back in the day. And you got interested in genealogy. Is that something that you continue to do? Is that a profession for you?
Well, certainly, yeah. I mean, I became so proficient at it that I became rather famous for it. And it served me well because...
Forgive my ignorance, sir.
That's all right. As a history major from Lehman College, I got perhaps what was the best job ever. I became the commissioner of the Department of Records for New York City, which houses the archives. So I spent many a day in the archives back when it used to be all microfilm for the most part.
Oh, dear.
None of this at home.
I remember that.
Sitting in the comfort of your living room touching buttons. So I had a great time here at Lehman. I lived locally. Great history department here. But kind of genealogy was one of those things that grows up alongside you. And it was a personal quest. It was a grandparent I didn't know. I wanted to find out where his family was from. Again, my parents knew some of the answers, not really, but the documents are what told the story. And that kind of a training you can only find out by doing the work yourself.
And how far did you have to dig? How deep did you go?
Well, every genealogist, what they hope to find out is that someone on the other side or somewhere in the family tree, someone has done most of the work.
Yes.
So I was lucky enough that when I did get back maybe 2 generations, discovered a Swedish cousin. I had a cousin that was married to a guy who loved genealogy. He had done his wife, my cousin's, whole family tree back about 400 years.
Wow.
Now, I double-checked everything because I'm a records guy.
Right.
It's okay to give me names and dates, but I want to see this stuff.
Documents,
I want to see
yes.
the real documents so I can make that determination, whether it really is a connection or not. Because it's a slippery slope. You can plug the wrong people into the wrong place, and it goes completely out of whack.
My father's actually started doing that for our family as well, and it's a little bit harder because we're Puerto Rican immigrants, so we don't have those same kinds of records, and records that were kept on the island were destroyed at points, churches burned down.
Precisely.
Do you have, maybe advice for people who are trying to find their genealogy that don't have that kind of access?
Well, it'll always depend on accessibility of records. Again, as you relate to churches burned down, in Europe they had wars and famines and floods and things were lost in the Irish uprising, 1920s. They burned one of the buildings during the war, and 3/4 of the important records for Irish Americans just disappeared in that fire. So some of us can only get maybe 2 generations using Irish civil records. And if the churches survived, then you might have a chance. And it's the same in Puerto Rico. It depends on where the family's from.
Right.
And it's good to know. I mean, the accessibility is a lot more improved, obviously, because of computer accessibility.
Right. So, you being the commissioner of records, have you personally put in information to help other people in the internet, or is it something that you have other people do? How does that work? How do people go to you and access their records?
Okay, I'm no longer the commissioner of the Department of Records. I was there for 10 years. But what we did do is we embarked on computerizing a lot of the stuff we had. A lot of the stuff, as I say, were mostly old books and microfilm. We brought in volunteer groups, other genealogy groups that did the data entry for the indices. Now, to find a record, you have to know, let's just say a birth record. You have to know what year your parent was born and where. You find the certificate number, and then you must go to another reel of film and then find the certificate. So it's an involved process.
Right.
Once things are scanned and computerized, from home you can find the certificate number, which will hopefully link to the image. And that's what's done through Ancestry.com. You don't even see that whole process anymore. It's just so easy to do.
Right.
But there's still a bulk of records that have not been digitized. When I was commissioner, I made that my mission is to digitize and make available a lot more online and let people know what we have. Because, again, genealogists go in there kind of, well, what is there and how do I go about it?
Overwhelmed, right?
It's a bit overwhelming. It can be. And you can hit brick walls, and even the best of us do, where you just have to find other ways around them.
Oh, thank you then for making that your mission. We appreciate that.
By all means. I'm glad to help your family if they have questions.
Thank you. So, what is it that you do now? Are you still looking for information on your family, or have you stopped?
Well, I still do genealogy as a hobby. I also do it for clients. I'm a consultant. I'm working on this Jonas Brown project now in Sweden, where they're trying to connect, the county, with Bronx County. We're hopefully going to have a sister city designation. We're going to have schools connecting with each other. On the real grassroots level, where there's going to be real communication back and forth. I mean, with our iPads now, you can have real conversations.
Right, FaceTime.
Using FaceTime with, kids going to school in Sweden. So that's hopefully what we're going to try to do, just so kids see what it looks like in New York, or what it looks like in the rural sections of Sweden.
When do you see that happening, the sister city designation?
Oh, within a year, certainly.
Really?
Yeah, the borough president's indicated that that's something he'd like to do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is fun.
Oh, do you have any other information for us, maybe, that we can look up?
It should all be on the Jonas Brown site.
JonasBrown.se.
Yes, certainly.
That's fantastic. So, lastly, being that this is the 100th anniversary of Bronx County and 375th anniversary of the namesake, what should people expect from the Bronx in the future? How's it changed from what it was to when maybe you were a youth to now? And what do you see in the future for the Bronx?
Well, that's a great question. I think the Bronx is as big as our dreams. Lehman College was not a big college when I was going here, but it's just expanded. I mean, the people that are coming here for education, people coming from all over the world and settling in our beautiful borough. The future of the Bronx has always been very bright. I mean, just in the last 100 years, I think my family emigrated up to the Bronx from Manhattan as they built the subways. And again, that's about the 19-teens. And it's always been dreamers. It's always people that want to come to the greatest city in the world and settle somewhere. And why not on the mainland? We've got a lot to offer here. It's a great place. We've got great colleges, great institutions. We've got Yankee Stadium. Come on.
That's right.
There's the reason to come to the Bronx,
I love it.
And that's where dreams are made. We got Derek Jeter, I mean, come on.
Respect for
Yeah,
the
that's
captain.
right. Exactly right.
All right, the Bronx is as big as your dreams. I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson.
My pleasure.
We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll find out about an organization that believes in developing young voices.